Well, thank y'all for being here. It is an honor to have been elected governor of the state of Texas. But as I told people last night, it is time to put the election behind us and to begin the process of going to work. And that is exactly what we are doing. The people of Texas elected me to do a job, and we begin working on that job today. I've already had discussions with Dan Patrick about various issues that we will be working on going forward. As soon as this press conference is over with, I will be meeting with Speaker Strauss for us also to talk about issues that we will be working on going forward. In addition to that, I will be beginning today conducting meetings with various agency heads, talking about the agencies, what their needs and priorities are, what their vision is, what we need to do to be able to work productively going forward, but also to address some of the challenges that Texans face right now. My first meeting is going to be later on this afternoon with Dr. Janik from HHSC to bring me up to date on the Ebola issue and to find out what needs to be done to effectively deal with that challenge. Additionally, we have begun today the transition process. And with me over my shoulder is the person who will be coordinating the transition process. His name is Daniel Hodge. Daniel Hodge is currently the first Assistant Attorney General. By statute, that is the highest ranking official in the Attorney General's office beneath the Attorney General. Prior to that, he served as my Chief of Staff at the Attorney General's office and has a deep level of knowledge in the Capitol and will be very valuable in assisting us in a very effective and very swift transition process. I thank Governor Perry for his leadership and his service, and we have and will continue to work closely with Governor Perry throughout the transition process. With that, I'll be happy to take a few questions.
During your conference calls, 71,000 Texans there tonight, you reiterated your support for open carry to allow Texans to open carry in Texas. Could you elaborate on that, and is that going to be an early initiative of yours?
Well, throughout the campaign, I announced my support for open carry in Texas. Texas, as I understand it, is one of only about 7 or so states in the United States of America that does not have open carry. If open carry is good enough for Massachusetts, it's good enough for the state of Texas. If an open carry bill is passed by the House and Senate and arrives at my desk, I will sign it into law.
What priorities and such did you discuss with Senator Patrick?
We talked about general-based issues, about the kinds of issues we want to make sure that we address going forward. The usual stuff, talking about securing the border, looking at ways that we can try to provide some level of tax relief, talking about our shared interest in improving education in Texas.
You mentioned yesterday that last night that securing the border was going to be one of your priorities, just as you said in the campaign. But also you mentioned that you wanted to respect the rule of law in Texas. And when you said that, a lot of people probably wonder, are we going to see something like Arizona type of legislation coming up soon in Texas to deal with the immigration issue in the state?
Well, in the aftermath of the Arizona legislation, the United States Supreme Court struck it down and limited what states were able to do. What the Supreme Court said states do have the authority to do is to secure the safety of people who live within their state. And that's why I announced during the campaign a robust program to ensure that we both secure the border and keep the people of Texas safe. That includes adding more Department of Public Safety officers. It means adding more Texas Rangers. It means providing more resources and funding for local law enforcement. It means improving our laws such as the anti-gang law and task force so we can do a better job of working to rebuff the cartel activity in the state, but also means passing a new anti-smuggling law that I proposed during the campaign.
But what's going to happen with the 2 million illegal immigrants that are in the state?
That is one of the ways in which the federal government has completely failed the people of Texas and the United States of America. And the federal government has to fix the broken immigration system. I hope with new leadership in the United States Senate that the federal government will be a closer step down the pathway to achieving that.
What are the top 3 things that voters can expect once you are inaugurated and once you've had a chance to work with the Speaker and also the Lieutenant Governor?
I think voters both sent a message and affirmed the issues that I campaigned on. And I was very clear and repetitive of what I stood for and what I wanted to achieve. One is I want to ensure that we keep Texas #1 in the nation for creating jobs. 2, I want to elevate our schools and ensure that we do a better job than ever before in educating our children. That starts with providing a solid foundation for education beginning at the pre-K level all the way through 3rd grade, ensuring that students are able to read and do math at grade level or above by the time they finish the 3rd grade. In addition to jobs and education, it means also doing what I just talked about, and that is to secure the border. Also, we will focus on building out our infrastructure needs in Texas. I'm happy that Proposition 1 passed. That is one of the 3 funding mechanisms that will allow us to have the resources we need to build the roads that we need in the state of Texas.
Were you surprised?
The enterprise fund is one of those issues that is on the table that needs to be looked at. I have said before, and I still remain a person who believes that government should not be in the business of picking between winners and losers. I think that there have been certain ways in which the enterprise fund has been shown to be defective, at least the way that it was structured. And I think at a minimum, the enterprise fund needs to be thoroughly reevaluated to determine whether or not it is an effective operation, and if it is, ways in which we can improve it to make it even better. If it's not effective, then it needs to be eliminated in favor of other ways that we can ensure that Texas will remain competitive for attracting jobs to this state.
You said your first
meeting is going to be with Dr. Janik regarding Ebola this afternoon. Talk a little bit about that meeting. Also in Dallas on Friday, that is the day that if nobody has been affected, essentially it will be Ebola-free.
Things have improved with regard to the current situation about Ebola and the extent to which Texans could be exposed to the disease. However, we can never let up on these challenges because of how deadly the disease is. And what we are doing right now is ensuring that we have the structure in place so that hospitals across the entire state of Texas will be able to have the protocols in place so that whatever hospital in which this issue or some similar issue may arise, the hospital and personnel at that hospital will be prepared to deal with it. And so this is both an update with regard to Ebola, further preparation. We need to be vigilant going forward, knowing that Ebola still exists in West African countries and can still travel to other locations. We will remain vigilant and on guard in the state of Texas, constantly working to ensure that hospital and medical personnel in this state will be prepared to deal with it if it ever comes back.
Last question over here, gentleman right here.
Are you surprised by the sweep of the Republicans, particularly in the governor's seats? And what does that mean, do you think, with your relationships with Mr. Obama and the White House? And I'm sorry, one follow-up question. Was your daughter late to school today?
My daughter may have been a tiny bit late to school today, but she is at school right now. And but listen, I think to the larger question A message was sent by Americans last night, and it was a message focused on policy priorities. Americans want people in office to address their priorities. And it wasn't just in Texas that we talked about securing the border. Securing the border was a referendum issue in all these races across America. And I think the message that Americans sent was they want to see government officials at all levels doing all we can to secure the border. It was also a message about what priorities government officials should focus their attention on. And as opposed to all these other things that we've seen the president and Democrats and Harry Reid focus on, they being Americans as well as Texans, want government to get out of their lives as much as possible, let the private sector create jobs, find ways to reduce taxes and regulations that will truly stimulate more job growth, and to focus on the issues that will genuinely improve people's lives as opposed to government dictates, which really hamper individual liberty. Thank y'all very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.